You know, as professional anglers, we fish big water most of the time. When you have the opportunity to come fish a small impoundment or small lakes that are near you, where you don't have to worry about the rough water and making long runs, and you can get out there, enjoy your time on the water and fish those small lakes, it's a blast. So today we're going to be fishing about a 100-acre impoundment, one that I've never fished before. So we're going to dissect it and really try to figure out where the fish are, deep, middle, or shallow.
Golly, what a bite!
The great thing about fishing small impoundments is you can learn them very fast. Wow. I'll tell you what, today we're going to learn a lot about pond fishing, impoundments, small lakes. They're all over the country, and most of them hold nice bass. If I can get the hook out just like this, that's the way you like to do it. Get it back in the water. Wow, so when it comes to new impoundments that you've never fished before, and there's so many of them, new lakes are coming up all over the country. The small ones like this, whether they're private or whether they're public, you want to check every bit of the water column. This morning we're starting out with a lane changer up on top of the water, then we'll go to a vibrating jig, and then maybe even to a worm later. As we've just gotten into this impoundment, I really like the way it looks. You've got the shallow vegetation, you got shallow water, but as you go through and as you can see out through the impoundment, there's some cut throughs, there's some what looks like deeper water, and what's going to be a lot of fun to maybe try to catch a big one later on. So one thing I've already learned about this body of water is it's got a lot of shallow grass flats in it. You can kind of see them. The one thing we want to make sure we do is try to find some deeper water at some point today. It looks like there's a lot of fish in here and a lot of fish to be caught. We're throwing top water right now because the water is only about a foot to a foot and a half deep, and you can actually see these fish. There's one actually coming at it right there. We'll see if we can get him to bite it. And he got it. Not a big one, but there again, lots of fish in this body of water. How do we find those bigger fish today? That's a statement we'll remember when we catch a big one. So one important thing on a small impoundment like this is to use your senses. It's your eyes and your ears are your two main ones, because you can hear and see fish from across the lake, from the other side of the point. They're all right in this area. You can see everything. So make sure that you always keep your eyes and ears open on small impoundments, because that itself can teach you where the fish are. So a lot of the times in small impoundments like this, you have to be very quiet. I think some of the bigger fish have kind of known that we're in here, so we're gonna slow down a little bit, try not to make as much moves and as much action, because you can see these big fish pushing off. And I'm pretty sure they're bass, but I haven't been able to get those to bite. So if we slow down and they don't know we're here, maybe we can get one of them big ones. Oh my gosh. That's a bass. That is a big bass. Oh my gosh. Did you see that thing? Oh, that's one of the ones you're after. Oh, get back in the boat, baby. Oh, look at that. What a hog. This is one of them big wakes we've been seeing. Oh, don't you come off. Oh, ah, pow, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that big old fish. Lots of little fish so far. Seen the bigger wakes. Now the bigger fish are starting to show up. Look at that. Let's unhook this one, get it back in the water. I mean, had it all the way, all three hooks in his mouth. That's the way you like to do it. There she goes. getting dialed in a little bit more. Slick, calm, throwing the lane changer. It's just a prop bait. The one thing I've learned is the bigger ones, they want it slower. So as we're fishing and as we're throwing that top water up in the real shallows, as you come around, you can see the lily pads. It kind of comes off of this point. And I'm like, I don't see any grass there. Maybe that's where it starts to drop off. Sure enough, there's the trough. There's the deep water that I'm looking for. So as we're working our way down this impoundment, the water's gotten a little bit deeper. It's got a little bit different color to it. So we're gonna change up. We're throwing a vibrating jig now, trying to get where maybe some of those bigger fish are laying out there deep. You know, shallow ponds and impoundments like this, the one thing about it, the fish love to be shallow. They love to get up there and get the bugs and anything that falls off on the bank. But the deeper water can hold those bigger fish, and that's where we're at now. So we're about 6 foot deep. That's pretty deep in some impoundments like this. So we're gonna stay out here and see if a bigger one's laying down there. One thing I know is that it gets shallower towards the bank. One thing you wanna do is just follow that transition, 6 to 5, 3, 2, all the way to the shallow water. Uh-oh, 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 this is a big fish, guys. This is a big fish. I mean a big fish. Out in this deeper water, he has got me all up in these lily pads. Oh! We're just gonna power pull down right here because there might be more. Get out of there. Oh, wow. Look at this hog. Oh. Get over here. Look at this thing. Come on, girl. Oh, pow! Wow. Look at this thing. There, we were just talking about it. Deeper water, bigger fish. We just had to find them. So when you're in small impoundment, so one thing you want to focus on is to learn from the first time that you fish it, so that when you go back, you know not to make the same mistakes that you did the first time. So learn from that and then capitalize on the next time. So this is a really good looking area. I just fished right there. It looks like an old beat up duck blind, you know, where a bunch of logs and laydowns are. So we're gonna fish it on this side now and see if we can't get that bite, because you know those fish are moving all around in that wood. What a fish. Just sitting, he had to come right out of that wood. Always only got the back hook. Just like that, small impoundments. One thing I'll tell you is what we've learned is we're back to where we started in that shallower water. So we've kind of circled this pond, fished it, you know, the way that we wanted to, and what did we learn? We learned deeper water down there, bigger fish down there, a lot of fish up in this area, nice ones just like this 3 to 4 pounder right here. Wow, is that fun? So small impoundments, they're really no different than the big lakes. You know, you still have the dams in most of them, you still have vegetation, you still have creek and deep channel cuts and stuff like that. The thing is, it's so much easier to figure out the fish because if they're biting, they're gonna be in that impoundment compared to other lakes where they could be 100 miles down the lake. So small impoundments, really take your time, fish it kind of quick at the beginning to kind of learn where everything is, and then get dialed in and enjoy your day on the water.